Now, I get a lot of bad books sent to me here. Trust me, garbage, ghost-written tosh. But this book is very, very different. It's called The Irish Boxing Review 2011 by Steve Wellings. And it is a review from ringside of Irish boxing in 2010. Every fight, very decent fighters, some great stories. It's essential for any boxing fan, not just lovers of the boxing game over in Ireland. Now, I tracked down the author Steve Wellings earlier, and I started by asking him why he felt the need to put the book together.
Well, Steve, what it was, I mean, Irish boxing is absolutely booming at the moment, and the growth over the last 4 or 5 years has been phenomenal. So what I wanted to do was to catalogue that rise, and I'd been meaning to write a book for a while, but I wasn't sure about the material to use, so I thought to myself, I'm writing all the time for the websites and so on, why not use that? So I just collated it together, put it in, and there it was.
So every single thing that appears in this book has been on a site already? It's just that you've put it all together under one roof, is that right?
Not exactly everything.
Okay.
I mean, most of the stuff has, to be fair, and under different outlets, either on websites or in Irish Fighter magazine or such. But most of it, has been online, and it just produced a chronology of itself, really.
So were you at all of the fights? Because I haven't read. Oh no, I've only cherry picked in and out of the book because I like it so much. But have you actually been at all of the fights that are in there, or some? Have you done some from TV?
I think I missed one fight.
Okay.
I think there was a fight down in Cork, which was from Belfast, was just a wee bit too far to get to.
You're a bit slack,
every
Steve.
fight that I've reported inside and from the undercard, I was definitely there, and there was about 15 or 16 shows maybe last year. So
let me ask you this: you know, when you were putting it together, let's say you were putting it together back in in December or late December, actually, early January. When you look back at shows, say in February and March, had you forgotten tiny details that you reread?
I have, Steve, and that was the beauty of it. That's what I wanted to do, you see.
And that's why the book works.
In 5 or 10 years, people can look back and say, I'd forgotten that. Whatever happened to him? Why did this never come off? And it reminds you of things, and even over that short space of time, it happened like that. I'd forgotten things.
There you go.
And I remembered them.
And you know, that's because so what it is, what you're doing is you're just plugging into a history. It started in the 18th century with the guys that were writing then. But in this century, there was a guy called Peter Wilson who did the same thing for his reports from the Daily Express. He did it in the 50s and the early 60s. And then in the 60s, there was a guy called George Whiting who wrote for the Evening Standard. He did this exact thing. Then there was an American called Phil Berger who wrote for the New York Times, and he did the same thing. He just reprinted all of his articles. And the last time this actually happened in the UK was in, I think, 1984. Harry Mullen, who's the great former, died a few years ago, great former editor of the Boxing News, who wrote for the Sunday Times, and he did the same thing. And I was going to do it last year with 25 years of my stuff from newspapers for the simple reason, Steve, you hit on it there, is that even I've forgotten stuff I'd written a year ago or 10 years ago or 12 years ago. So the amount of details you actually find in your newspaper copy, as opposed to people who have done collections who've done collections, but they've got theirs, they've collated theirs from the internet or from different places. But the stuff that you've actually written is just so much better because it's yours from a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and that's why this book is so good. It's called Irish Boxing Review, the 2011 edition. It's the first edition, and it's by, as I said in the intro, Steve Wellings. Steve, how can people get hold of it?
Well, I mean, I have a website which is www.irishboxingreview.com, and or you can Google it. It's available through the publisher's website at the moment, but Amazon are hopefully going to pick it up, and Barnes and Noble as well. I'm waiting for that. So if people want to go to the website or drop me an email or Facebook, Twitter, all them type of things, I'm happy to discuss it with people, and come on irishboxingreview.com.
So you've got every single fight involving, every single main event or every single show in Ireland last year, and also some that are overseas, Andy Lee, that type of stuff.
Yeah, there's some of the stuff like that was over in England or over in America. That's all covered as well. There's plenty of interviews from the gyms and previews, reviews, all sorts of stuff, and a few things as well for maybe not Irish boxing fans, just general boxing fans at the beginning. I've put in a few things as well there, features. So.
Sure, that makes sense. And is it selling at the moment, Steve? They're starting to shift a couple?
Too badly at the moment. I mean, I'd like to sell a few more, obviously, but I mean, I just wanted to get it down there and archive it, Steve, because it's such a boom period at the moment, and there's so much going on across the island, north and south. There's more Irish title fights than ever before. There's
Absolutely.
European, there's British titles in the north. Why not get it down? Let's catalogue the rise of Martin Rogan, Willie Casey, Bernard Dunn, things that are capturing the public's imagination.
Yeah, because it's good. You could have done this if you'd have got your stuff together. You could have done this a year before, because 2009 was a great year. 2010 was a better year, and I think that 2011, despite Willie Casey's defeat the other week, I think 2011 might be the best year yet.
It could possibly be. I was thinking about that, but I was just a wee bit too late that last year, and I thought I'm going to get it down this time and get it done. So maybe next year, hopefully there'll be another one coming out as well, and we'll move on and see what happens.
Well, listen, this year, of course, in this year's one for next year, you can include the Joe Ward, the light heavyweight sensation. He's only about 17 or 18 on the build-up to the 2012 Olympics. That'd be good for you. And also Katie Taylor.
Yeah, that would be good. I was there at the Irish National Seniors recently, and Joe Ward was spectacular. Young Ross Hickey was very impressive as well. There's a new breed as well coming through, Steve, in the amateurs, and then in the pros there's the likes of Frampton and Ormond and all these guys coming through. I don't see it slowing down. There's a new breed coming through already.
I tell you what, it's a thriving scene in Ireland, both in, as you say, north and south. And Belfast is thriving. Even Dublin's nearly thriving. And London, I tell you what, could do with a little bit of the same love and tender care. Listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Steve. The book's called The Irish Boxing Review, 2011 edition. It should be available soon from Amazon. If you Google Irish Boxing Review, Steve Wellings, Wellings, you will get it. If you're a records nut, this is just about this will be good for you. But this will be good if you just want to look at a little bit of history, a 12-month slice of boxing history on the Emerald Isle. This is your book. Steve, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks for your time, Steve. Cheers.